What are you looking at, Mike? You hate everything?
You cannot be cranky. This is our Super Bowl. We have such good shit today.
Let's party.
Are your legs always this far out?
They're
They are.
always in your shot.
Because
but
sometimes
who
Mike and I play
cares?
footsie.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out if I were to move that camera, like which way I would move it to make me in the position I want to be. But I'm realizing that if we move it where I need to be, Mike's whole body will be in the shot. So, okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get stage fright?
No, I didn't get stage fright. I just was going to say it, and then I made a funny face, and I was like, she can't start on me with the funny face. So, okay. This episode was Shep, and more Shep, and I can't wait to get into it. Welcome to Showmance, the only show on the internet doing deep dives on shows with no depth. Hi, guys.
We never used to watch Southern Charm.
Yeah.
And then whatever it was, season 6 or 7, Shep and Taylor started dating.
Yeah.
And I remember you were here one night and you were like, oh my God, you guys have to watch this show. There's this dude and he's like been single forever. And now he's got a girlfriend. It's just like this amazing story to watch, which you were not wrong. However, in hindsight, Shep acted like Shep that whole time, right? So in hindsight, it wasn't as amazing as we thought it was going to all be. Amazing that we got hooked on the show. This storyline, this is the storyline. If you don't watch Southern Charm, well, you're probably not watching this. But this is the storyline to dive into in regards to Shep's having some real problems.
It is fascinating to watch.
Yeah. Nobody taught Sheppy how to lose. I think Shep's a participation trophy kid.
That is a real good way to put it. Real
Which
good
he seems
way.
way too old to be, but...
The name of the episode, I don't know what it was, but it should have been Hosted and Ghosted.
I think it was like Bahama Mama or something like that.
You gotta wonder, and we'll get more into it, but like how the writing is so on the wall. How are you in your life calling someone that's not showing, forget showing up, they're not even picking up the phone. You can't get facts from them or a timeline, and you have a camera crew on you, and you're just sitting there thinking, this is going to resolve itself because we're in love. Like, what?
One of you is.
There is not a, like, for me to have made my, like, okay, everyone, like, I'm just really going to try and, like, get back into the game and, like, stop being so pessimistic and just decide that everything's wrong and they're lying to us and this isn't real and that's all fake. This has really pushed me into a fucking corner because, like, this guy, I don't know a world where, like, we could truly believe that Shep actually thought that, like, this was happening, like that this like nothing adds up with the way that she has acted towards him, their interactions when they saw each other, all the I won't save that part for when we get to the hotel, but like everything about it just makes me think there is not a world where someone like Shep like did not know that like this wasn't a real relationship, that like he wasn't in an actual relationship.
I fully
with
believe
this person.
that this is him genuinely reacting to his actions, the consequences to them, the whole nine.
Are you saying that he...
I'm saying I completely disagree. I wholeheartedly feel that Shep met this chick on Raya is in his mind head over heels for her, wanting to make it work, and we are watching his genuine actions and the consequences for those actions.
His genuine actions of what, though? Liking someone?
Like, he really wanted to go down there thinking he was going to, like, make some lovely moment with her out of this trip. I don't think it was production forcing him to go. I think he really wanted to be like, no, I'm going down to be with my girlfriend. Your girlfriend? She's not even calling you back.
Yeah.
She's like Carmen Sandiego as far as you're concerned. Where in the world is she? You haven't heard from her. You don't know what she's doing. She's probably off stooping some Russian billionaire.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that this is all real. I do.
Yeah.
Now you can call me delusional, glitter army.
I know. I'm out on this story. I don't believe this story at all.
What
like,
about you,
it's
Mike?
just you don't bring a whole crew with you, like, unless you like, you can't even get a hold of her beforehand, afterhand, while you're there, anywhere. Like, like you got to be like unless Shep is just like, this is just Shep with 45 years of entitlement from like no woman in Charleston ever saying no to him. And so he just believes like, if I just like work out for a few weeks and then like grab my whole camera crew and my Hollywood production staff like all in tow and like show up there, that there's no way this girl's not just gonna fall over with her legs open. Like
that's the answer, Nat.
Like
100%.
I mean that. Okay, well then that is the only. There's like, but you're in love with her. Like when Austin was calling her five times Sienna, like does that mean that they've seen each other 5 times total?
Possibly, but it also seems like something that he does, because Taylor was saying 2 weeks in, he told me he loved me.
Yeah.
So I don't.
She's so full of.
Do you think it's real, Mike?
I mean, I don't know what we're talking about when we say real. Like, I still think that on her end is a little fishy, and I make my joke about the Bahama tourism board like paying for advertising on Southern Charm. And then also like grandma like loved it and had the fact, so she was like, F it, I'm gonna try to get grandma a little signature and a meet and greet, which I'm fine with. And I lean towards that. And then
the grandma still
a little bit, like
oh
in
my
the fun,
You're insane.
in
You're
the
insane.
fun,
You're
on her,
delusional.
on her end. Just in a fun way. Like, I think it started with her being like, I'm going to see what I can do for It's something I would have done for my grandma. She's dead, but I would have done it for you, Grammy. So I think that, and again, just having fun with that. Because, like, I don't think on her end it's serious at all. It is now, but I don't think it ever kind of was. And I think Shep is, whether it's real, I mean, listen, this is the thing. You'd be like, oh, whether it's real or not, it's clearly real. Shep is clearly going through something, and it's unhideable. Like,
yes.
You don't have, it is a first grade level reading book. Like
100%.
He never lost. Girls don't say no to Shep, and if they do, they're Madison, and it's funny, and they make a joke out of
Correct.
it, and they're like, "No, dude, I know where you've been." And he's like, "Oh, all right, cool, whatever, blah blah blah." People who don't know him don't say no. They don't. You don't say no to Bird Dog Family or whatever they're Boykins. Like, this dude is a historical figure in the United States of America. I know that sounds absolutely asinine, but
not where he lives.
His family's in some history books, right? So, like, you don't say no to Shep or Thomas Ravenel or Whitney. Like, that doesn't happen. And when it does, nobody in their families taught them how to lose, because nobody in their family loses. Yeah, we don't lose, Shepherd.
Yeah, he's spun out on this girl. We'll get to it. So for me, nothing at all got interesting or was notable until we got to the Paige, Craig, whatchamacallit conversation. Was that the first scene?
You're leaving out Shep making his bed, which was like 0% about like tidying up and 1,000% about Shep being in his tidies and just showing off his new gym bod. But it was the first time that I didn't hate it. Like, I was like, good for you. As someone who hasn't been to the inside of a gym in like a decade, maybe.
No, I'm here for his.
Way to go, bro.
Glow.
Like, gym life sucks, and you did it, and that's great, and that's something, and you never really do anything you don't want to do, so that's nice.
Yeah, no, I'm here for Shep's glow up.
There's a little thing in the biz, folks. I'm gonna give you a little biz lesson. And story called foreshadowing. It's when you do like tease a little something to like let people know that maybe something's going to happen later. I don't know who said it. I think it was you. And I definitely think I disagreed with it, and I changed my mind.
Oh.
Taylor and Shep are getting back together.
Natalie said it.
Something's going to happen. And I'll tell you why. Because when you edit a girl saying, and these little, we've talked about it, we're so over the little intros. They're so lame and boring. But when you cut from Taylor saying, I don't want to make my bed today, to Shep making his bed, that's foreshadowing, folks. There's so many moments in this episode that are like so random and so Taylor Shep that I by the time it ended, I was bummed that I watched the whole episode waiting for this confrontation to happen and it didn't happen. But then like, oh, these two are for sure.
I've got
two
notes and
ships in the
questions.
night, in the full daytime, not even the night, just on a collision course.
It does seem like they are setting up a Taylor, Molly, Shep triangle for next season.
They're setting something up.
Yeah.
Honey P.
Yeah. Which, thank God. Like,
Yeah.
I would love nothing more. And also, Taylor needs to get in the game. I don't know if you saw or I think maybe we talked about this already, but when they released the reunion setup for Southern Charm Reunion, like the seating charts, you know how like the people that always sit next to Andy, like they're new every season. It just depends on whoever like had the best season or who made the most poignant strides or like whatever.
Who's in the hot seat?
Yeah. So this year it's Craig and Shep, I think, are on.
Makes sense.
On one on each side, I think. But then the very last seat is Taylor. So she's on, like, that just tells me you're on the chopping block. I think Lev is on the end of the other side.
Yeah.
Like, you're either coming back as friend of or not, unless you drum up some business. That's what I think.
Agreed.
Start campaigning.
Gaston ain't bringing in the customers like he used to.
No. So
Okay,
yeah, then I think
Craig's house.
Yeah, that was the first scene.
Yeah.
This was my big note about that scene.
You found out why they broke up, actually?
Kind of.
Because of that fucking hat?
And listen, sometimes people just can't ride with the hat life.
I love that
fair.
he put it on in the house to go make the call.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like he just got home and he had his hat on. Because a hat is an outdoor thing. A hat is certainly not made for the
sometimes
indoors.
It's an accessory.
I love
Inside your house?
I've gone out to an event that's indoors with a hat on.
I mean, I thought you're not supposed to wear a hat
But
inside.
you're not in your own home with a hat on. Or if you have people, if you're having an event at your house, fine. But it's it's eventful. Like it's not
correct.
sit at home and make some phone calls.
No, but he is filming a TV show, and two,
I would roll calls. Can you bring me my hat?
I would do it if I was sitting at home on Zooms and I thought the hat looked cute with my outfit. I would pull a Craig.
Don't.
Okay, well,
I don't think
you'll
Craig
make-
did that, though. I think
you're not the
and I
boss
don't-
of me.
I don't know how Craig thought that he needed this approval, like he didn't already know. But when he put it, he's like, "Oh, I needed the Paige approval." Like, bro,
Don't do it.
you didn't need Paige approval. We all knew what Paige was going to say. You knew what Paige was going to say. You knew what you felt deep down was a no. Take the hat off.
Well, if you
Now
look
you're
at the
single.
outfit, it looks just like he's wearing a plus size version of a sweater that she has in her closet. Like that looked like an outfit that Paige would wear. And so we can say so much about Craig, you cannot say that this motherfucker has not tried to be the boyfriend that at least he in his own mind believes, like by watching her every move and like writing down like this must be it. All the wrong moves. Because she doesn't need a clone of herself. She needs her counterpart. But that's what it looked like. It literally looked like a cable knit sweater that she has in size X small, and his is 3X.
Well, I just was watching this scene and personally had a revelation of, and I think we kind of talked about this last week or 2 weeks ago. Paige is a sardonic, dry, biting New Yorker, right? It's
Yeah.
why we love her.
Yeah.
She straight, no chaser.
Yeah.
Just says it like she calls it like she sees it. I think when I was watching her interactions with Craig previously, I would see her be a little cold to him.
Yeah.
Or maybe cold's not the right word, but just kind of a little biting, right? Just like a little bit, not nasty,
Yeah.
but just a little short. And I'm like, oh, but that's just because that's who Paige is. You know what I mean? Like that's just part of her personality. She's a dry sense of humor, whatever. No. Now that I know they broke up, I'm watching this and I'm like, oh, the wheels are starting to come off the bus here. We're witnessing you not be as into this guy. We're witnessing you
Get irritated
over things that you're not really irritated over. Because when you're stupid in love with someone, if they call you with a dopey hat on, you're like, oh my God, you look ridiculous, but I still wish I could jump through the screen and make out with you.
Yeah.
And she was like, take that off and never let me see you with that again. My vagina is sealing up with every second you keep it on.
When Madison calls, he picks up the phone. He's like, hey Madison. Oh, I'm just on the phone with Paige. And she's like, hey Paige. And Paige is like, hi. Like I thought she liked Madison, and I'm sure she doesn't have a big problem with her, but like, I'm looking at her now and going, you think this group is a bunch of country bumpkins. Like I've said that before, but like it is just getting, like, I don't think she misses any of this crew. There was an episode of Schitt's Creek where some of the daughter's old friends like come through that town that they're living in, and they're like, oh, we're on a kitschy weekend. Like we thought we'd go to like this like weird little town, and like when the daughter lives there, so she's like, oh, that's cool. But like that's how I feel like Paige looks at her time in Charleston, is like, oh, it's like this old timey like Western, like it's not Western, but you know, like just like that thing you do for Instagram photos. Yeah. Like, oh, look at me with my hat on, and you know, like that's how she is going to look back at this whole thing. I
will say it's been kind of a wild trip down memory lane, because you know I've been rewatching Summer House, and so you see when they first get together and how he was in such a different place, just drinking so much, kind of acting a fool because of it. And she was really into him in a way that we hadn't seen her with another guy. Yeah. And she's sitting there saying, oh my God, okay, guys, because what's her name on Summer House? She dates Robert. She's friends with Lindsay. Danielle. Yeah. Danielle's boyfriend at the time was going to take a full-time chef job down in Charleston, and they were going to move down there. And Paige was like, yes, let's move to Charleston. It's literally the best place you've ever been. And she was basically Charleston's mouthpiece, talking about how amazing it is, and it's got the best food, and it's so charming. And even when she wasn't talking, if Craig was talking about it, she was emphatically agreeing. So it just is very interesting to be watching at the same time when they first got together, and how into him and all of this she was. Yeah. And then literally last night, obviously we'll talk about this in a different episode, but you know, when Lindsay announces that she's pregnant, Paige says, my first thought was, oh my God, I'm so glad it's not me. It's not me. So you're seeing it, whether they had broken up over Thanksgiving or they break up in 2 weeks, we are seeing the decomposition of the relationship.
Craig obviously gained so much from their relationship. He's a completely new man, 100%. Like 180, like has made strides in his life, and in all of the categories of like where you, like how best to evolve as a person. He nailed all of it. I'm sure largely due to her. She also has done that, and it's not largely due to his influence, but like when America loves a celebrity couple. And I think that her stock rose a ton. There's just something about following one person or following two people. Like it's just the rags love it, the bloggers love it. Like everybody just like loves to watch this relationship, and you get that much more attention, which makes all your ratings go up, and all of your more
your Q rating.
You're more open to, like, people are going to want to hire you for things. Like you're getting gigs that you wouldn't have got. They just wouldn't have thought of you otherwise. But like, there is something that I think that she's really gained from this whole thing. And I think it's also part of why she's grown out of him, because she was a New Yorker before, but now she's like a bougie New Yorker. Like she's got connects, she's got carte blanche at restaurants, at hotels, at whatever. She's Paige DeSorbo, like already on her own she was, but Paige and Craig were like a separate entity that was also like just growing her.
Totally.
And so like, I think that it's interesting how he's only done, they've both only done better with each other, but she's realized, I don't need this anymore. I've like, it has catapulted her to another level, to where before, when she was looking at Charleston and going, it's so cute, I truly don't think she is now looking at Charleston and would say any of those things that she said. I think that she thinks like, it's this small town. It's like pretty slow and like kind of like stuck in the whatever. Like I'm sure she would describe it differently now.
Now she's like fun place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there.
Now she's going through it. Now she's going through it like those girls on Schitt's Creek were stopping in for a kitschy whatever weekend. And now she probably wouldn't even do that, because now she's just like, it's too soon. Totally. And like she's not gonna roll through there. She probably, it's like the last place.
No, hit me up in 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
You could really see what Mike had been saying when we're like, oh no, they're so in love, it's so great. Mike was right.
Yeah, when he put her on the phone with Madison, you could like, it reminded me of like when I would call my dad, and he would, I wouldn't know where he was, but of course he was out at a bar doing karaoke. So he'd be sitting next to someone, and he would throw me on the phone with whoever was sitting there, and he'd literally answer the phone and go, hang on one second. And then he would put somebody on and I would just hear, hey there, Natalie. It's your Uncle Joe Bob. You remember me down at the OU Texas game? No, Uncle Joe Bob. I don't. Also, I don't have an Uncle Joe Bob. Not everyone has to be an uncle. Can you put my dad back on the phone? Thanks. Like, that's how I feel like she was like, Craig was just handing her off to Madison. Oh, hey, Paige. Hi. Do you see this shirt? You're seeing this shirt, right?
I feel like it was a scene to explain why she wasn't going to be in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
And to have whatever Madison ask about it. But the big tell, honestly, was at the end when he was like, bye, chicken, love you, or whatever. And she was just like,
Dude, he doesn't even call her chicken in that. He literally says, I love you, Paige.
Yeah, he said, I love you. And
she goes,
no, she says, we say it to each other all the time, but we mean it. What she said was, love you, bye. So it just was like super cavalier, or not cavalier, but like nonchalant and like kind of directed towards the both of them. Like, oh, love you, bye. Also, Craig, if you have to say to someone, technically, I'm a lawyer, then technically you're not a lawyer. So don't be drafting any contracts. Just don't
I
do
hope
it.
that he adds that into every episode now where he goes, well, I'm a lawyer, so I can do this for you.
Technically.
Well, how do I know? Because I'm a lawyer. I want him to say it in every episode now.
lawyer.
I don't think he
I'm a
passed the
lawyer.
bar
I think
anywhere. Like, I don't think he could practice.
No,
he
no,
did?
he passed the bar.
I thought he didn't take it.
I think it was 2 years late or something after he told everybody he had it.
Never.
But also, like, if technically you're a lawyer, then draft up your own contract for pillows and beer and have Austin sign it.
Oh,
what are you going to do?
Too rich for that.
He doesn't have the time. All right. So then up next, we're shopping with Shep and Molly, which I loved because I really want something to happen between the two of them. Also, Molly looks incredible in a bikini. I don't know what.
Oh, yeah.
What mirror is she looking in that she doesn't see how stunning she is?
Yeah.
And also, I keep bagging on Shep because of his clothing choices. Clearly, he goes out and buys some things on his own, and they're still terrible, which just hammers home my point that he just has the worst style this side of the Mississippi.
Molly, I think, finally got her head on straight. I don't know if you noticed. You probably did. Actually, you probably both did. When she came in, like
anything with that bikini and that, like
she
that
looks
scene,
amazing.
I was like, well, I don't know what's happening.
Okay. I was like, okay.
Good, sorry.
It looked to me like she got there 5 minutes early so she could hold ice packs on her boobs because she came in with bing.
Headlights on.
Ran in, still got them on, or she's wearing that Kim Kardashian Skims nipple bra. She did that. Then she like when he talks about how he got that shark necklace for his girlfriend,
God.
she replies with like a reaffirming hell yeah, like encouraging this like clearly horrible gift. And then when she encourages him to get a matching set outfit, not just the matching set, encourages him to, you should buy her one too, a matching set of your matching set. Like, welcome to the game, Molly. Like, she's finally like, okay, like we're halfway through this season, negotiations are up, like I gotta start like
putting pedal to the metal.
Yeah, exactly.
That being said, to little taste into why Molly is who she is. Classic Molly, maybe. I'm just like assuming when they get there and jumping ahead. What's her name? Sierra does say we need to match. Do you have anything floral?
Oh, Sienna,
sorry. It says that in the hotel, like when he's like, "Oh, you got to help dress." She's like, "Okay, but we can match. Do you have anything floral?" So it's funny if Shep would have been like, "I actually have an outfit for you," and she like was like, "Oh my god!" Like if she liked it, and then Molly's like, wah, wah. Like it totally backfires on Molly of all people.
She said we have to match.
Yeah.
She was like,
she didn't
why
say,
did
I
she
don't know
want
if
to
she
match
said
with
we
him if she
have
hates
to,
him?
but something.
Or
like
just
that.
like we should coordinate. I think we should.
Something like
She said we should coordinate.
She said, yeah, maybe that was it. We should coordinate. Do you have anything floral?
Like when you're going out with your boo and you're just like you're wearing matching outfits,
No,
like mother-daughter pajamas.
I would have thought she wouldn't have wanted to. Like that's actually a point in the. Oh, does she like him then? Because I don't want to match with anyone. I don't want to match with anyone, but I certainly don't want to match with someone I don't like.
I actually thought Molly was, because I'm gullible, I actually thought she was really trying to be like supportive and sweet when she was saying all of that. And then when Shep got out of the dressing room or whatever and kept talking about Sienna, she's like, oh, okay, none of this is working. Like, I'm here in a bikini. You're literally not even seeing me. But also, Molly, stop leading with the insecurities.
Oh, it's never gonna end.
Shep's like, what have you been up to? She's like, trying not to eat anything so I don't look fat in a bikini. It's like, no, you look amazing in a bikini. Shut up.
And also just even like going on this thing to begin with, like, yes, like if you went there to do the things that you did, which I'm choosing to believe because I just think that's way cooler, then great. But if not, Venita and Molly, don't be friends with these guys who like if you like them, you're getting nothing. But like you're just being their sounding board and there to help a brother out, and like he's getting to just have you as his support system and also bang other chicks and like not take you seriously and whatever. I just think
Charleston way.
It's exactly
pull
it's
the friendship.
Exactly. Like
let him know what he's missing.
This whole show is just here to like shine a light on this like never-ending cycle of women just like being like maybe hoping and praying and whatever that song is. I don't know. I can't remember.
Hoping and praying, dreaming. All you gotta do is. I'm just sorry. Go ahead, Mike. You were saying something.
Were they?
Oh, anyway.
I can't remember.
Wait, can we just pause and have a moment about the shark tooth necklace? First of all,
that's
here's
Shep's
a PS.
MO.
What?
It's Shep's MO.
But this is a PSA.
If you got a shark tooth necklace from Shep Rose, you are tops. You're above the rest.
I want every straight man out there to know there is no girl who for her birthday wants a shark tooth's necklace unless it's like a dope one that's like gold with like pave diamonds or something like that. Like, I don't want a shark tooth
anything
around my neck with like a leather wrap. I don't want any
like,
tooth around my neck.
Yeah, I don't care if it's some endangered. Certainly, if it's endangered, but like even if it
like
is just
like
some
if you had a child and it was like your baby's tooth. I don't want a tooth around my neck. I'm not a troglodyte. Also,
chicks. Typical chicks. A megalodon tooth. Whatever.
Oh, I guess you know what to get Mark for his birthday this year.
Yeah.
You'll wear a tooth necklace?
Dude, I'll wear some earrings. I get my shit pierced again like I had them back in the day. Both of them. What?
Okay.
You had your ears pierced?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can still kind of see it.
Yeah, both of them too. I got one. I texted my mom, like, can I get my ears pierced? She's like, you can do one. I wouldn't do two. And I was like, okay, cool. But I hung out with like a lot of like, we like to go dancing at the clubs and like hip hop dudes, whatever.
And like suck and stuff.
No. And then I did the one and I was like, okay, cool. And like 2 weeks later, all my friends had both of them. And I was like, F it, I'm doing it. And so I did it. And then I remember going home and like, like rolling over one morning and I can't remember how, but I like walked out. My mom was like, what the hell have you done? I'm like, no, I did too. She gave me a lot of shit for it. Forgetting to do. But yeah, I did too. I had some diamonds in there.
Oh, God.
Probably not real ones, but
definitely not real ones. And I just feel like that look works for some guys, and I just feel like you're not that guy.
You don't know.
No, I
you
know.
don't know
I
what
do.
I was like when I was 18.
I do.
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
You weren't even doing it in high school, like.
Yeah, because I was too busy being sporty and
I wasn't doing it in high school either.
All the dudes I was doing in high school with were sporty also.
So were they churchies?
Kidding. I did.
Did they devote their life to Jesus Christ for a few years before they?
Well, we all went to Woodland Christian School and First Baptist Church.
Well, you guys
our
are
lives.
heathens. You guys are little heathens.
I'm just joking. I didn't do it with anyone until I was 17, and I was a young 17. I graduated when I was 17. So.
You said you didn't do it with anyone until we met.
That's also true.
Well, you met when she was 17. Okay. Also, the necklace, when he gave it to Taylor, went over like a lead balloon.
Also,
so
that was just a regular shark tooth. Sienna got a megalodon. It's a bigger deal.
I'm just saying, it was a crap gift when he gave it to Taylor, and it's going to be a crap gift when he gives it to Sienna. And also, why are you gifting the same gift to people? Where's the ingenuity? Where's the creativity? Where's getting something that speaks to the girl that you're dating? It's not like she's a surfer or someone who loves marine
We're talking
life.
about
purpose. That's on purpose.
Yeah.
All Shep. This is one more point in the Shep and Taylor are making their way back to each other, because that's why he did it. Because he even said in his interview, because if Shep is literally nothing else, he's oddly transparent when he's trying to paint a picture. It's always so see-through. He's in his interview and he literally brings up, gosh, I hope Taylor doesn't see it and roll her eyes.
No, he said, I hope she does see it.
I thought he said, I hope she doesn't.
Pretty sure,
no, he said, I hope she doesn't see it and
I think she's,
roll her eyes
because
about
I
it.
remmer being like, whoa, dude.
No,
We're gonna
have to
you
roll the tape on
misheard
that.
Yeah.
Why would he say, I hope she doesn't see it? That's
Because
so silly.
that's Shep. I'm a good guy. I don't want her to see it. I don't want to put her
That would
out. I'm the
track.
good guy.
I would roll the
I just
tape.
think it's a crap gift that speaks nothing to who Sienna is, what her likes are,
No.
or Taylor. I just think he thinks he has one great gift, and it's like the
Right,
guy
but
that only
it's
has
also
one
Shep.
sexual move in bed. It's like,
No,
okay,
it's not.
It
It's like the
is.
guy who's entitled and comes from a rich family and doesn't lose and thinks that instead of me going and finding out what this individual wants and what would be special for her or him, I have a thing that I give it to everybody. It's kind of my thing.
But that's what
That's because he's entitled and has an ego problem. Like he'll never consider what you want. What you want is something special from Shep Rose.
No, I agree. That's what I'm saying. It's like the guy that has one move in bed that's never thought like, oh, what does she want? How can I pleasure her? Like this just does it for me and I can get off. And
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, sure, in that sense, but it like this dude, like Shep is actually like you guys say, oh, he thinks he wants to be the good guy or whatever. Like the sex move is. It's a bad analogy. It's a good, like, oh, you're not thinking about someone, you're selfish. Great. Shep's not being selfish. Shep's being egotistical. Shep is saying, this special thing that I give to people is more special or important or meaningful than any silly thing I could have thought of that you might want. None of us think that's true, but that's what Shep is believing, I think. The sex guy is just, fucking get online, bro. Figure it out.
It could just be that Shep has absolutely horrible taste, which he's proved time and time again. So things that he thinks are like super cool, like just don't carry, have never carried over, likely won't ever. I think I've seen Shep in one outfit, and I was like, he did not buy that. Like that's someone was like, you should try that, whatever.
that was your birthday gift from Taylor, not a shark's tooth necklace.
Yeah. And I think he probably goes and spends like some money on like having this thing made. And I guess if you're saying it's some sweet ass fish's tooth, then maybe it was expensive to procure that and then to have a guy put it. So he's probably, I think that it could just all come down to bad taste and thinking, and even if it is bad taste, it still costs a lot of money. You know how much it costs me to have this guy make it? Like, it's just all the wrong things.
It's all the wrong things.
No matter what it is, it
doesn't matter if
wrong
it's
things.
expensive. It's not who I am. It's not what I would want.
Yeah.
You didn't take any of that into consideration, which is why I think it's the same thing as a guy who's not taking into consideration that like, oh, I'm supposed to also. Which, for the record, Shep is bad in bed because Taylor said she had one orgasm the entire time they were dating, which is. Or maybe he's not bad in bed, but he was bad for Taylor.
Yeah.
After that, we go JT and Venita, which they are foreshadowing for something with them.
What could they be foreshadowing? Well, okay, there's one weird thing that I noticed, but I don't know what to make of it. Do you think there's a chance that he's not really, like, he's going to come back and, like, they just sort of created this?
No, I mean, like, super quick foreshadowing, because in the coming attractions, they showed us that Venita goes into his room and he's like, I'll talk to you, but with no cameras, and like, get your mic off. So the only reason they're keeping track of that storyline, even though it's a ship going nowhere, like Mike just said, with other characters, it's still something we're keeping track of because something's going to happen there. And all of a sudden, it's so disjointed, because the last time we saw them, she was a little, hurt that they had kind of gotten this far in their flirting game, and him coming over saying, my mom thinks you're the one and that I should marry you. And then when she says that she has feelings, he says, well, sorry, I'm dating someone. And so now they're friends and now everything's totally cool.
Well, Venita said they've always been friends. Like, I thought the same thing, like, that I wrote that too. I was like, this timeline is messing with me. Like, because I don't know the timeline of this, if the 2-month stop down is
Right.
real or what, like, I don't understand. But she did say we were best friends or whatever, great friends before this happened. And she wants that back, right?
Got it.
It did seem a little too soon. Like, that conversation to me was like a little too personal and a little too flirty to be like, okay, well, we were best friends. We told each other how we feel. He has a girlfriend. It's not going to work out. Cool. Lunch tomorrow? Like, I don't know if it happens that fast. And
That's
it
exactly
felt like
what I felt.
Yeah. It felt like it happened that fast, and I was like, this is freaking weird.
You're right. It's got to be the weird, like there was a 2-month break, something.
Yeah, but
it was.
also I didn't think about it until just now. JT is going to the Bahamas a day later because he has some meetings. But then Venita mysteriously misses her flight.
Yeah, why did she miss her flight?
I don't know, but did you
Maybe
hear what
JT
she
knows.
says when JT says, I'm probably going to go up a day late or whatever because I think I might have some meetings. And she goes, yeah, I'm sure. And the way she's like cackled when she said it. So I was just like,
Meetings with Venita's boobies,
yeah,
maybe.
that's what
Wow.
I was thinking too. Either it was as simple as production just only wanted like the principal, like the main cast there for the arrival because there's like a lot going on. So they wanted like a separate, they just kind of chose that. It could be as simple as that, or it could be that like they're going together and they're like JT can't leave till that next day because he's got something, and so she's going to stay with him. And I have no idea. That is a total like A, I have no idea. B, I f***ing don't care. Like I don't care.
I'm starting to care way more about Venita, but JT, yeah, whatever, bye.
But maybe if they have been hooking up on the DL, that would make sense as to why Mike and I had whiplash with this whole thing where it's like, wait, all of a sudden now you're totally copacetic.
Yeah.
So
And-
it's either the timeline break or they've kind of been hooking up unbeknownst to everyone. And then they had the whole thing where they're going a day later so they could hook up back in Charleston.
Yeah.
Or they haven't been hooking up, they have an affair. And then that's what Venita's coming to talk about in the Bahamas. And he's like,
Wait, when
no
did they have an
camera.
affair?
No,
Then?
I'm just
Meaning because he has another girlfriend.
being a YouTube podcaster.
Do you remember when he says something to her like, God, I can't even, she might have been on the phone telling someone this, or it could have been an interview. I can't remember. But just in the last 1 or 2 episodes though, where she says, he keeps saying he's not trying to make or he keeps apologizing for making me feel like the other woman, but if this doesn't don't seem to be trying that hard. She says something along those lines. Do not quote me, but it's something like that to where I was like, what are you talking about? You guys had one conversation, but that was what was on camera, is that you had one conversation.
Yeah,
but she
did not hear that.
says something about like making me feel like the secret girlfriend or the undercover lover or the mistress, or it's a word that definitely insinuated that they were, that she was like the side piece. So it could have just been like a funny comment that she was making. I have to go back and look at it now, but also I don't care.
I also feel like we might figure something out during the reunion because JT's not going to be there. So maybe Venita will speak freely and just say,
Wait, he does. Wait.
Or I would be shocked if he was at the reunion.
When he
Now I
quit,
don't
didn't
remember
he
if he was-
say, what did he say? I'm leaving the show. We still have our confessionals, or the reunion. What I
He
can't
said,
remember.
I'm leaving the show. I'm not, I've done almost all of the things. Like, I don't know why he was like so specific. Like I pretty much did like
He said, I've done 9
of,
confessionals
like,
or 7
whatever it was.
confessionals. Yeah.
Yeah. At that point, I was taking it as like, that was it. He was not coming back to complete anything. But then I saw an interview with Venita just like a couple days ago, and she says something like, so, because they were asking her about JT, and she says something like, so I hope he makes it to the reunion because he has a lot to answer for, or like whatever. So like the way she was saying it also had that little Venita grin. So I don't know if that's just Venita's grin or if it's like hopefully he makes it to the reunion because we're going to squash him like a bug.
Okay. Because I thought he was just digging his heels in, like, I will never be back and whatever, and then, cut to him 5 minutes later. Oh, I left my hat. Can I grab that? Oh, the camera's on. I may as well film.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be more along the lines of what it is.
Also, we've been waiting this whole dumb season for the Bahamas, and now the Bahamas are here and seemingly uneventful after next week when Homegirl's like, oh yeah, I don't like you, and Shep cries. What are we doing?
No,
are we
but
in the Bahamas for
there
the
seem to be
rest of
more
the
No, there's a
season?
lot of
that.
drums in the Bahamas.
I can't remember what it is, but I also don't want to. I like to be surprised.
I feel like we have at least 2 more episodes of them in the Bahamas. One with Shep having his meltdown with Sienna, and then the other stuff with the rest of the cast, because I do think there's going to be other drums with everyone else.
All right.
Okay, so now we get to the Bahamas.
Oh no.
Oh,
Austin and Rodrigo at that restaurant.
Dude.
couldn't care less.
What? You couldn't care less about my theory that's not a theory, it's facts that if you watch Bravo shows long enough, no matter who you love, you're going to hate. And no matter who you hate, you're going to end up loving. And they'll go back and forth sometimes.
Okay.
And listen, this might be the edit, but it didn't seem like it. Rodrigo, like, what do you do? Like, the speakerphone with the dude's ex-girlfriend sitting there sneakily listening to him talk about his current girlfriend problems. Like, what the shit was that all about? If I was Shep and I didn't know that was a thing and I saw that, bro, Rodrigo's getting one right in the kisser.
Wait, I must
Not a
have
kiss,
totally
a
missed
fucking
this.
knockout.
What happened?
When Shep called Rodrigo and he was like talking about Sienna and like, oh, then she hasn't called. Like, he was just talking to his friend about some problems that he was having with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
But Rodrigo was with Taylor and he had him on speakerphone.
yeah.
And Taylor was like, sitting there quiet. Like, and listen, again, that could be editing. Maybe he was like, yo, Taylor's here. And Shep was like, oh, yeah, no problem. I don't care. And they cut it out. But like, if they didn't, it doesn't, that just seems.
Oh, I just
didn't like
assumed that they knew they were like Shep knew they were filming and that the phone was on speaker, so he knew.
Well, she
But did
says,
he know Taylor was sitting there?
Taylor says, I'm not here. And so then it just seems like she's kind of staying off to the side while he's having this conversation. And
Yeah,
then she's
Just
listening and
sneaky
getting
as
all
shit.
like,
I don't know why. Maybe because I'm so desensitized to Shep currently that for whatever reason, that just rolled right off me like water off a duck's back. I could not have cared less. I was like,
You're so used to these people being assholes to each other.
probably. Totally. I think that's a totally fair, astute comment. And I think that it's like Taylor and Shep, this could just be the passion under the surface. It's like they hate each other so much that, on sitcoms, they just say, oh, I'll just sleep with each other and just get it over with. Because there's just so much, they're so at odds with each other all the time that I think I'm almost numb to it. It's like a kid that grows up in a house with their parents constantly arguing that they don't even hear it anymore.
yeah. Austin like nails what the issue is, like the stage that they're in.
Yeah.
Where he's like, Taylor and Shep are in that stage where every single thing annoys you. But like, until you let that go, you're never going to be completely over it. Which I thought was like, you're never going to be completely over it. And she's doing that because she still is so under it. Like, she really is still so affected. Like, I have to say, every time I've been in any relationship that was like, I was like bummed on how it ended or whatever, it was like the second I started dating someone new, like I couldn't care any less. Like I don't even, like when I think about my ex-husband, I literally think about it like I have no idea if he's dead or alive. Like if I saw him, I already know he's probably going to look like his dad, which is like not a good look. And like, it would just be like a comedy hour to me to like hear about what I know his life must be.
Yeah.
Like that's all it takes is meeting someone that you like even 1% more to be like, who?
Totally.
And like, so that's why it's so weird to hear her always talk about like Gaston. Like if you really gave a shit about Gaston, you wouldn't be involved. You wouldn't have these looks and these eye rolls and like storming out of places. And like, it's like, it would be laughable. You would be like, oh, this is kind of hilarious. You guys are such fucking losers.
Totally
But
agree.
she is so wrapped up in him still. But I think that Austin, all that said, I think that Austin recognizes that phase of like when something just irritates every single thing they're doing, she's in that phase. Austin recognizes that because that's where he was with Madison for so long. And I think he even still is there a little bit with Madison, but he's far along enough in the phase where it's like, he's realized that like, honey works better than vinegar.
Yeah.
So now he just kind of plays like the cute puppy role where it's like puppy might bite you and a puppy might lick you, but you can't get mad at a puppy.
No.
It's just a puppy. Like you're not gonna cold cock a cocker spaniel,
Yep.
like that. And so you just like just shake it off and go home and whatever. Like That's where I think Austin's at. But I thought that was interesting that he because every time I'm able to identify something in someone, it's because I know that feeling so well. I've been there. It's like, I might be talking shit about it, but it's really my own. Like, I was furious with myself when I was in that phase of something, you know? So like, I just thought that was an interesting, him thinking like, let me tell you something. And it's like, you're telling me because that's who you are.
Totally.
And you were just there.
Agreed.
I don't know. Austin is like starting to annoy me to the point where I'm like, stop talking, dude. Just shut up and sit there.
I thought he's getting better.
Yeah.
Yes, the thing last week, and a lot of people that were in the comments like agreed, like, not okay. What
he
horrible
said
look about Austin.
On Watch What Happens Live.
No, about Austin being kind of flirty with
Madison.
Madison.
Oh, yes.
Like a lot of people were on. Like, I thought, like, Mike always goes next level on cheaters. It really gets something going in him. He's been this way since the day I met him. Where it's like, if any of my friends ever did anything, like, I would never tell you, because then you'd be like, she's dead to me. Like, well, she doesn't have to be alive. She's my friend. Like, you could just you'd be like, she's not allowed here anymore. You know, like, that's how he would be.
I think as I get older, I understand that. Listen, shit happens and life happens. It's not for me, but
Cheating's not for you.
Oh, good. Lucky you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's inappropriate. That's inappropriate behavior.
Yeah, no, totally. I don't even just this restaurant scene, like him ordering I'll take a skinny spicy, just a couple of skinny spicies for a couple of skinny spicies. Like, I thought it was nice to see him out with someone else and not railing on Craig or not complaining about the Craig relationship. Like, I thought he had a good episode, basically is what I'm saying. And I'm going on I'm trying hard to everyone I talk shit about, which is aplenty. I'm going to try to also say, like, when they have a good scene, when they have a good episode, like, I want to highlight it because, like, you don't watch people you hate. I mean, correct. Well, you do. I think I speak for all three of us. We don't like hating people. We don't keep watching people that we hate. We obviously want just to get the goods from them, you know?
Yeah. I did for a hot second when Austin, and I could be just making this up, but there's a couple good editors on this show that I think are obsessed with Alfred Hitchcock, because when Austin was at that restaurant waiting for, we don't know, I think I was sitting there being like, if Madison walks into this fucking restaurant right now, I was getting boiled. Like, I was heated, and it lasted just long enough and was just like Hitchcockian enough to be like, I'm in hysterics right now because I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And who came? I don't even remember. Rodrigo,
yeah.
And I was like, all right, you got away with it this time. I'm not falling for that again.
I mean, Rodrigo's married too, so maybe Austin just likes to live on the edge.
I think my problem.
Way Rodrigo hooks up with Austin. Austin's an idiot.
Rodrigo would never. He's got better taste. I think because I've got this split screen thing going on because I am watching older episodes of Summer House. I'm watching such abhorrent behavior from Austin.
Oh my God, the Lindsay season.
The Sierra. And I am obsessed with Sierra, and the way he did her dirty is just, and she's so rad, and she's also stunning. And she has, like, first of all, she is a model, but she has a backup career as a nurse. So she's accomplished and is basically a supermodel, like, at least physically. Whether she's gotten to the heights of that in her career, I don't know. And I also don't care. And you, Austin, like, you're kicking her to the curb. So I think
you did that with Lindsay of all people? Grandma Lindsay?
It's like that episode.
What is wrong with you?
But it's like that episode of Friends. Remember when Phoebe was really mad at Ross and she was being so mean to him, and everyone's like, wait, why are you being so mean to Ross? And she's like, he did something. And then she realized it was in a dream.
Yeah.
And I just feel like it's because I'm watching older episodes of him. I'm so angry at him, and he may have evolved and isn't this person anymore, but I'm still mad at him.
Yeah, he's on my last nerve.
He also hasn't evolved that much, in all fairness.
No, he has not evolved enough for anyone to forget all of the ridiculousness.
Okay, thank you.
Until he literally asks this girl to marry him and, like, has kids and, like, buys a house, like, I will always be looking at Austin with just like, oh, shut up, Austin.
A little bit. A little bit. Well, now we're in the Bahamas, okay? And we're at baggage claim. And how are you having a girlfriend that you are saying, I love you to, and she doesn't show up to the airport? I know I'm stating the obvious, guys, and I'm not mad at Miss Bahamas for not showing up. I'm mad at Shep for being so dense that he's not picking up on the fact that she's just not that into you, bro.
Yes.
Okay.
100% yes.
Thank
However,
you.
that was some fancy.
That was interesting.
No,
like,
it wasn't
she
fancy
wasn't
editing. She
coming,
didn't show up
like-
to the airport.
But-
But
we
she
know?
wasn't like Natalie shows up to the airport because it's just me, and I got home from a work trip and she's picking me up from the airport. And then when she comes back from her Oklahoma, wherever, I go to the airport and I pick her up. Like, that's what you do.
What is the difference though between you and I?
Why are we going to tell people this?
Oh, yeah,
I
what
got a
is the
lot of
difference?
shit last
But
week.
no,
I don't think I can.
I'm
I need a week
listening.
off.
What's
So
the difference?
Natalie parks and she goes in and
I
waits for
park.
you and like is there with a big hug and a kiss. And
Listen, I'm no Bryn where I go in a costume and do a dance, but I'm standing
No,
at the
but
bottom
she's
of the
there every
escalator.
time.
If he had $1 billion, you'd be in a costume.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And I'm the asshole that's doing the laps and being like, have you got your luggage yet?
I had no idea that that's who you were.
Yeah, full
Well,
on.
also like because Mike he was traveling all the time because he worked on X Factor and The Voice, and so he was and AGT. Well, got a million other shows that but those are the ones that are the most recent. And so they used to pre-COVID have to travel everywhere for auditions before they just started sending in their tapes.
Zoom.
It's a
We
new
got Zoom.
world, man.
Zoom casting.
But he would be there. He would be traveling all the time. He'd come home for a week and then go back on the road for 2 or 3 weeks time. But when he would come home, he would come with it'd be like him coming down the escalator and like 50 crew guys that were all on the same flight, all coming down. And I just thought I want to make this guy look cool. So I would always look as cute as I possibly could.
Every
And
time.
I would go and I'd be yelling. I'm like, Mike! And then everybody, I would make a fucking spectacle of it.
If you
just to
can
be
Yeah.
put hearts coming out of my eyes, like the emoji and the things.
We can already see him.
Yes.
Now, every time people would be like, oh man, that's so rad. My girlfriend didn't even show up.
Right. Because they were dating Sienna.
Yeah.
And you've got.
But I don't think Shep was like, all right, well, our flight gets in at 2:30. And she
Yeah.
was like, cool, I'll come pick all 11 of you up in my 2 SUVs.
No, I agree with you. I don't think that
I
at
don't
all.
blame her for not going to the airport.
I'm
I don't
saying
think that was weird.
that if I were dating a guy that didn't live in the same country as me, okay?
Yeah.
And I knew he was coming to to my country with all of his friends, I would show up at the airport
Even if
to
you didn't
run
like
into
him?
his arms and give him a smooch.
Even if you didn't like him and you
No.
thought it was really freaking weird that he's coming to your country with all your friends when you've only seen him 5
Mike,
times.
that's my point.
Yeah.
I'm saying, how is he not getting this? She's not even.
He
if you
does
like
get
someone,
it. Look at his face. He's getting it.
then why are
that's
you
what
inviting?
But
her
that
to the
is what I
hotel?
want to know. Was she listen? The things I do was because I have I worked on shows and you're off for 3 months, or I work for Greg the whole year, and then we do a show for a few months, and then I'm just collecting my check and whatever. Maybe she has a 9 to 5. I don't know what her deal is. I understand everybody can't zip off at 11
Dude,
a.m.
those Mrs. Bahama-
to do a
the
job that
Mrs.
clearly
whoever are busy
Uber
as
can
hell.
do.
But he
But-
would have said that then because everyone
Right,
was
but that's
coming
what
down
I'm saying.
on him.
I feel I do feel like there's not clarity on what the situation was. Was she supposed to be there picking him up, or was he? And he's bummed oh my god, my ride's not here, which is weird. There's 10 production vans outside waiting
No,
to
he got the 2 SUVs. The
Yeah,
two
no.
gray SUVs that took him to the hotel. Listen, this whole thing, I'm sure he said it. Oh, Sienna helped out a lot with this thing. Yeah, what she helped out with was calling the PR person at the Bahamian or whatever the hell they're staying in, Bahamar, and they sent the 2 car. It's Vegas. This is what you do. You got the presidential suite and the other suite.
But I don't feel
we're
like she had
sending
to
cars
do anything.
for you to pick up the
Production
airport.
is going to set this entire thing up. Like,
right, whatever. Like, and if they didn't, Shep very well could have. Like, Shep's got that kind of money. And
but let me ask you, do you think there's a world where, like, this is a 10-season Bravo show? You think that production didn't handle this entire thing? Buying the tickets, planning everyone's travel, booking the hotel, booking the cars?
Absolutely.
Like, there's just no way that they left this in the hands of some Bahamian 20-something beauty queen. Oh, you're going to figure this out for them, right? And plan all their snorkelers and like.
I don't, again.
I know, but even just like,
I think that Shep wanted to go. I think it was Shep's idea to plan a trip to the Bahamas, and I think Shep was like, "Hey, everybody, let's go to the Bahamas because I need to find out where my girlfriend is." Right? Like, I think that's all real. And then like, yeah, let's do it. That'll be fun. We'll go to the Bahamas. Okay, great. And then starts the process. Okay, can we go? Can we afford it? Yeah. Can we get? Well, we can't afford it because great. Call the thing. See a sponsorship. So like, then it all starts breaking down. Hey, can someone call Sierra, see if she can do some shit? And everybody works together to make it happen. But I wouldn't be surprised if Shep bought the tickets or like, like, I think the idea came from Shep because he's loony for this girl.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I do love that everyone is treating this like a reconnaissance mission to like find and apprehend Shep's missing girlfriend.
Totally.
Like, it is pretty cute that's like everyone's there like eye on the prize. Where is Sienna?
I would just
they got to do something because, like, again, this is part of the the package that they got.
I would also just like to be
Sierra on the show.
Clear about something. Sienna. I on no level think that she was scheduled. She said to Shep, "Hey, I'm going to pick you and 11 of your friends up and a camera crew and all that stuff." I'm saying that when you are really into someone, you show up at the airport.
Yeah.
You park the car. You go in, even if it's just to give you a smoochines and say, "I know you guys have to go off to the hotel. I'll meet you there. Text me when you're settled."
Yeah.
That's what you do when you are into someone. And she did none of that.
But at the hotel, he also did say, like, "Oh, she's got shit to do. She'll be here at 6:45." So, like, maybe she had to job. Like, she has a job. So, like, maybe she had to work.
I just want to know, did she say, "I'm going to be at the airport," and didn't show up? Or was
I don't think so.
Or was he just bummed that he wanted her to be waiting by the phone when he got there?
That's what I think.
Okay. Well, I feel like the show was trying to make you think that she just like no-showed on the pickup, and like that's what it seemed like that's the vibe they wanted you to have, but they didn't clarify it. But like, I think a lot of people left this episode thinking that like she just ditched him and didn't pick up him and his friends at the airport and humiliated him.
But let's be very clear about something. Have you never gone to visit a friend like in another state, in a foreign country, whatever, right? You have. Yes, all of you?
Is this a real question?
Yeah, okay.
Have we ever left in to an airport of a place we didn't live? Yeah.
But like, no, to specifically go visit someone.
One time.
Well, where else would I go? I'm just going to go show up in the no man's land.
No, but sometimes you just go on a vacation and no one's there waiting for you, and you just like, you and Mike are just going to Cabo together or whatever, and your aunt.
Oh yeah, all
the
those
time we
trips,
went to
all that.
Cabo.
Okay. And every time I've done this and I've landed in the country that I'm visiting my friend in or state that I'm visiting my friend in, and I call them, they pick up the first fucking time I call.
Yeah.
They know, oh, court lands at 2:30 and they pick up.
That's all I'm not saying that shouldn't be expected. I was just trying to clarify, did I miss something where she was supposed to be there and she just no-showed, or is he just bummed that no one answered the phone when he got there? Which is still like, is something like, oh, that's a bummer, but like it was made to look like it was the other.
Gotcha.
That's
yes.
all.
No, I think she was not scheduled to go pick him up at the airport. I think he just landed and wanted to call his girlfriend, the love of his life.
Yeah.
And it took 3 calls to reach him.
Yeah.
When like, girl, and by the way, even I don't give a shit if she has a job, unless she's the president of the Bahamas. It's like, your boyfriend is here with a camera crew. Ask for the afternoon off. Take a PTO.
Totally. No,
okay.
Totally. Oh, what? No, like, even if she, listen, I was just trying to, when I was saying,
But
like,
she
not
doesn't
everybody
work
has
at
to do what I do
Starbucks.
because if they have a job, then they can't just leave in the middle of the day. But I do feel like she might be in some sort of a position to be able to be like, I need the afternoon off on the 29th.
Yeah.
Like whatever, like.
What do you think she does that's so important that she's not a surgeon?
What does she do? I don't even know what she does.
All I know is those people, when they win the little Miss Whoever's for 364 days, they are pretty freaking busy. They're doing shit all the time. And aside, I think we're both like, I think we're all like
that she's like a miss something.
But who knows if she's this year? Once the year of reign is over, she's not doing the 365.
Oh yeah. Oh, she didn't win. I don't even know when she won it. I don't know.
Wait, what?
I don't think she's the reigning Miss Bahamas. Is she?
Like, did that just happen to where like this is her 365 days of
reigning?
Like all of her like community work and?
I thought so.
Oh.
I thought she had just won, and that's like. She
okay, maybe she was with a Make-A-Wish
But regardless,
kid.
it doesn't matter. I think we all are, like, I think we're just beating this dead horse. Like, oh, she didn't show up. She didn't show up. Yeah, she didn't show up. She didn't show up because she doesn't like him. Nobody's surprised by that. You're surprised that Shep doesn't understand that, right? That's really what you're saying. Like, how come Shep doesn't understand that this girl doesn't like him? Let's have a conversation about that because I think we're just beating the fact that she didn't show up. I think Shep is well aware. I think that's why Shep's spiraling.
She was Miss Bahamas in 2021, so she's free.
Yeah, she's free.
Just saying. But yes, no, I agree. By the way, Mike, thank you. Can't wait to get into all of this because I've got notes. I was so unbelievably uncomfortable when first of all, they went so hard on him at lunch. When that's not what I was uncomfortable about, but when they were having that lunch after
But we're skipping Craig's temper tantrum?
Oh, Craig has these temper tantrums all the time.
All the time. And Craig lies all the time. And you little fucker, I forget about that. Because Craig's a charming little fucking son of a bitch. And I like get all up on Craig. Oh, Craig's so funny. I'm Team Craig. I like Craig. Oh, he's doing so much better. And then I go online and I'm like, wait a second. No, Craig's a liar and a little brat. And then I get all conflicted about Craig.
Well, we have to talk about Craig because I am very confused with the Craig Paige breakup because I sent you something on Instagram that I don't know if you watched, and I'm going to show it to you guys.
I haven't opened Instagram. And
he was on the Tamra Hall show being interviewed, and it was his first like big interview.
Who's Tamra Hall?
Just a woman who has a talk show.
Okay.
And he was doing his first like I guess long form or whatever interview one-on-one since he and Paige broke up, and I'll play it for you so we could talk about that because I am getting a little bit of whiplash with this. Like, I don't know who to believe in all of this. But yeah, he did that. Remember in Winter House when he refused to clean everything up and he was just like, here's money. And he just starts throwing out cash because he's like, just hire a housekeeper.
Listen, I don't mind
I don't mind it at all.
Like
no, I don't either, but there's a nice way
to
do it. You could just be like, listen, I'm not the cleaning type. Here is $300. Let's hire a housekeeper. He doesn't have to be like, you. I'm just dropping shit on the floor and being like,
oh yeah,
and here's cash.
That was in his drunken days, right?
But he still has these temper tantrums. Is
right.
The point.
This particular, go ahead.
No, so you go.
Well, you started this one. So.
Well, bringing this up, his temper tantrums are about money, like being like a money guy. Like like the only reason you didn't want to share a room is because you own a business and you're successful, and you don't think that successful business owner it has nothing to do with being 30. It has to do with your status or your believed status. Not cleaning, status. I have money now. I'll just pay status. Like, you're a little status whore, Craig. And that's kind of gross.
Agreed.
This particular thing, I wasn't mad at Craig for being in the state that he was in when he got to this massive hotel in this huge suite, only to find there that they're one room short. This is not a thing that I believe is a real thing that happens. I believe the producers set something like this up. They know that you're one room down, or there's going to be a thing where somebody has to choose, just like at Summer House, like who's going to take the 2-man room. Like they plant that as that's a thing. Like that's going to cause someone to erupt, or it's going to cause two people to have to be together that like maybe didn't want to, or whatever. Like it's just, you're opening that. So I looked at that as Craig got there and was like, these motherfuckers are trying to get one, like
that could be.
And he was willing to like buy his own room and just like nip it in the bud immediately. Like, I am a grown man. I want my own room. We are at a place that there is no reason why they didn't get us a suite with X amount of rooms or put someone else. Like, was Rodrigo there? Like,
yeah.
And the other guys are coming up tomorrow. Rodrigo, I love you. You're a B team guy. Like, you don't like, so I'm just saying that I think that they put him in there to, it just seemed like a little setup to me.
You could be right.
So.
And
even if you're right, it's still the way he responded to it, so it doesn't matter.
And that's what I was thinking, that I wouldn't have done what he did, but I would have been saying every single word that Craig said under my breath and being like this on my phone, being like, how much is my own room? If I could, like, I would just have done it all on the low, but you know,
well,
it's
you
not
probably
Craig.
called Sienna to be like, hey, can you hook me up another room here? I know you've done a lot. But the other thing though, if we're talking like this last season or so, the driving range, JT's after party thing, where Craig's like seemingly getting mad at production and like the storyline that's happening on camera, and is like, yo, I'm not doing this.
Wait,
I'm out.
What was this?
Like Craig getting mad at production, like
when?
throwing these temper tantrums. Like when you were just explaining this, this could have been a setup by production. You're right. Like that's producing. But like, so he's throwing temper tantrums, like grow up, don't throw temper tantrums, you know, be an adult. But the temper tantrums, if it's true that production set this up, he's mad at production about the room. Like, F off, why do you guys do that? Then the whole thing about the driving range, if that's true, it seemingly, if you go back in hindsight, that he's getting like, these are production storylines that he's mad at. Like somebody had a meeting before the driving range and was like, okay, JT, we're going to go in. You're going to call fucking so-and-so a bitch. You're going to talk about this.
Yeah.
Tell him that you think so-and-so's having an affair. Got it. And Craig's like, no, dude, I'm not doing this. He literally said, I'm not doing this, and walked out. Like,
yeah, and he warned, and he said it loud. Like, he was like, I'm telling JT this, but I'm saying it loud enough. And you guys that are listening in the ears right now, I'm not doing this. I will walk out.
He's telling the dude in a van with an IFB and 3 monitors, I'm not doing this, Craig, or Steve, whoever the producer is. And I've worked on enough shows and seen that happen a billion times.
Yeah.
So people are like, wait a second, f off, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And then producers got to scramble and be like, oh, dang, he figured us out.
Yeah, he called it. It's like even on Bryn, I feel like I've got so many Bryn on Salt Lake Housewives.
Bronwyn.
Oh, that's why I keep getting them mixed up, because I've been calling her the wrong name this whole time. Bronwyn on Salt Lake, when she put together that trip for everyone and then didn't tell anyone that, like, oh, like, they all meet at the hangar, take the private jet, go out. It's a lovely trip. Well, as lovely as the Salt Lake girls can like ever have a trip. But then when they leave, they find out at the airport, oh, I didn't book the private jet for us to go back. I booked you all coach seats. And like, these ladies do not fly coach. Like, there might be one that doesn't mind it here and there, but like on the reg, they're not flying coach. You don't tell someone that. You don't tell someone that they're flying back coach at the airport right before their flight's leaving, because these are grown women. They will call and make their own arrangements. But they did. I feel like Bronwyn did that because that's her first year. She's got to pay her dues, so she's working with producers to set up a thing that's going to cause a big hullabaloo. It's the same with Craig. All they had to do was tell him beforehand. You don't let somebody find out they don't have a room when they get to a hotel.
Or
it's a setup.
You do.
Or you
so you get your reaction.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why like his temper tantrum, I was like, I would have done the same thing, but I probably like wouldn't have been so loud about it because I'm not a 10-season principal on a successful Bravo show.
It was annoying. It is a reminder of like, oh, okay, you're not perfect. And then after that, they go to that big like cast lunch, which I will say, I don't remember a scene in recent history where they went in collectively on Shep that hard. I mean, they were making fun of him in front of his face. They were laughing at him about the whole Sienna debacle.
I only really noticed Taylor and Madison.
Taylor and Madison at the end. The rest of them stuck up for him. It was the complete opposite.
It seemed like the guys were like, she's to blame. She needs to get her shit together.
Molly was like, no,
I don't know. For some reason, all I could hear were the girls at the end just being like,
Taylor
tough
was
as nails.
Yeah, Taylor was
Which, by the way,
railing on Shep, like, which I was like, you told your mom that you're gonna avoid him. That's how your mom literally asked you, what is your strategy for the Bahamas?
Yeah.
I'm going to avoid him. And now we're here in a full-on session, like discussing all of this. Like, shut up. And like, listen, that funny jokes. Like, oh, you felt it wearing the tip of your dick like that. It was funny. She said something else. Was super
she
funny?
doesn't talk like that.
I know
and
she never.
I mean, I think she does, but she doesn't act like she
doesn't
talks like
portray
that.
herself to be that person.
So that was a weak moment for her, and I thought she got a cheap laugh over something that, like, she just.
I gave her one. She said something else too. I don't remember the second thing she said too. That's super
No,
funny.
I think it was with I think Madison might have said it because she was just like,
the Santa
We
thing.
should call her girl.
Yeah,
Oh
when
yeah.
she's like, Santa? And like, it might as well be Santa. We never see him.
Yeah.
That's
Or we
funny.
should call their girlfriends. We wouldn't be able to get a hold of Shep's
Yeah,
girlfriend.
that's funny.
yeah.
So like, so it was really Taylor drilling and then Madison like peanut gallerying. And nobody said anything until Taylor said something, and they were like, she was like, really something about his communication
blew
lacking,
that whole
and that's
scene.
when everybody was like, well, hold on, you don't know. And Craig was like, you guys got unresolved issues that you need to work out, and that's when everybody kind of went to Shep's defense to be like, Taylor, it's more on her than him.
But then Shep, this is why Austin actually was correct, that both of them just care way too much about what the other one is doing. And by the way, we've said this all season.
Yeah.
So it's not something new to us, but it is really, I don't know, it's annoying, I guess,
Dude,
at the very least,
so
to be watching when Shep he's totally calm when him and Madison, or when Taylor and Madison are like berating him for his non-existent relationship with Sienna, and then all of a sudden they start talking about Gaston, and he goes in on Taylor, and it's like his head is going to explode.
Does he go in on? I thought all he said was, "I just want him to have a better reputation."
Yeah, it's all
No,
he
what
said.
he was saying, he's like, but he never shows up to anything, and he got all hot and bothered and like raised his voice.
I don't remember that.
Really
I think
I
he got the only
miswatched
time he
this.
raised
Maybe I
his
just like
voice.
I wasn't paying that much attention.
He
I was
said
I was,
that. I just wish he had a better reputation, and that's the end of it. That's what he said.
No,
but
he was
raised
not
his
calm.
voice.
I'm telling you. I must have missed the fact that the other people weren't railing on him, because I really thought it felt like, wow, they were going hard on Shep, and they never do that. But I guess it was just Taylor and then Madison as the peanut gallery.
I think I was just so laser focused on Taylor because she was bugging the shit out of me the whole time, and I felt like I was watching a swing and a miss every time, especially when they were like, "Actually, that's not the case," and she goes, "Oh, isn't it though? Oh, but is it not? Is it like
let it go.
it's
Just
like
let it go.
you weren't prepared for any pushback, and so all you had was, is it not? Like that's all she could like come up with,
Yeah.
and I was just like, you little twit. You are so full of it. Just shut up. When she's yelling, I want Shep to be happy. I just want him to be happy for me too. No, you don't. Like, do not like threaten the universe with a good time. If he stops being affected by you, that adrenaline hit is going straight out. Like, do not look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yep.
Like that, you are getting off on that. If he stops reacting to you and really just doesn't care, wants you to be happy, no, good for you. Yeah. Mazel, you know, she would feel like less than nothing that she already is.
Yeah.
And also for her to say, oh, he told me 2 weeks in that he loved me. And I was like, no, you don't.
Oh my God.
Please, that was the greatest day of your life.
Yes,
you were dying to get back to that moment.
Yes.
Like you think about it every day. It's on your fucking vision board, probably.
I just think that both of them care way too much about what the other one is doing. And I remember Shep getting too heated about that. But even if I'm wrong, even if he's like, I just wish he was a better guy, why do you care? Why do you care at all? She's in her relationship. She says she's happy. So just let that go. But that neither one of them, they're like a dog with a bone. Neither one of them can just let it lie.
No, dude. What's it? Taylor, whatever the your name is, get pregnant already. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is stupid. Like, just seal the deal. He'll be glad that you did. You'll get everything you want. You guys will be miserable for your entire lives in your own fun way that you like find comfort in.
Wait,
like,
by Shep?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no.
Yes. Are you guys joking? That would like it would just put a fast forward on all these shenanigans and just get straight to the thing. when she was talking to her mom, and her mom said he has never, in Shep's entire life, he has never felt more settled than he was when he was with you. And that's why he is so desperate to bring you back into his life, because he is not a whole person without you. Like he wants that back. It nailed
like
it.
Some of the greatest like mom wisdom I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Not ever, but like it.
No,
it was good.
For an
good
Android
stuff.
user, pretty good.
Yeah, it's funny.
I just know that these two truly belong together. And until something happens where like they've got to make it work, like they might figure out a way anyways, but like they're just going to elongate it with all these obnoxious arguments and these obnoxious just zingers at each other and bogarting the lunches and the trips out to the event spaces and and whatever. Like they're just going to keep becoming the center of attention in these arguments, because what needs to happen is they just need to have a family and have a reason to be like, okay, fine. Like, let's just stop all this pussyfooting around. And like, he would be happier than he could ever be with anyone else, I think. And she, like, in her own weird way, that would be the thing that fulfills her, because she's obsessed with him. She's in love with him. She loves Shep Rose. She can't stand how much she loves him. That's what I think.
How about this? I don't think you're wrong. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. And I think
that's why if she got pregnant, it would. That's why I'm saying you got to make a bold move and slide into his hotel room tonight.
That's what Catherine thought. Where's Catherine?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but while he's like all like, oh, Sienna, where'd my girlfriend go? Like, this is prime time. This is vulnerability. You got to swoop in while the getting is good.
No, Molly's going to do the swooping.
That's what I want. I think Molly and him make a better couple.
I'm with Taylor on that one, that she was like, I like Molly, so I don't know if I'm going to push her to Shep.
I get that.
So I kind of did the thing.
I don't believe her. She likes them all. She likes Shep, so she's not gonna.
I definitely believe that.
But if we were like if we're taking Taylor's comment out of Taylor's mouth, and I was friends with Shep, I would probably say that same very logical piece of advice.
Yeah, no, 1,000%. What will Molly get out of this aside from, I guess if all the women are really just waiting around for these yahoos to like come around, then like maybe it is like the best that she can do, because that's what she wants. And that's, I guess, don't get in the way of what a woman wants. Just let her want it and let her have whatever she wants and whatever. But like what do you think Shep would bring to Molly? Doesn't it just seem like we'd be setting Molly up for a real nightmare?
I think if Shep could get his act together and be the man that I really believe that he could be, which is interesting and dynamic and smart and fun and funny and all of these things, someone like Molly and him, I think, actually have a decent amount in common, because they're both well-traveled. She obviously is a musician. He loves watching musicians. And I don't just mean going to a random concert. I mean, he likes the symphony.
Yeah.
And I think they have just more of a baseline that seems to be in line with one another. And they could grow from there.
Yeah, I definitely, I think the reason I'm always talking about Shep and Taylor is because I think that Shep is stuck in forever.
He's never going to grow out of it.
He's never going to grow out of it.
And
she's the perfect, like, a receptacle sounds horrible, but like the perfect match for someone that's like that. Like she does, like she's so high on the prize with him that like clearly that she might actually be okay with that. She might actually be at her happiest with that. Oddly.
Molly?
No,
Taylor.
Yeah. But Molly, I think, has so many more layers to her than Taylor does. So since I don't see Shep getting out of this, especially now that he's with his new hot bod and, you know, whatever, like I don't know. Like, but maybe this thing with Sienna will I don't know. Anybody with a brain would have to have a come to Jesus moment with themselves after that to be like,
maybe I'm going after the wrong women.
Yeah. And Molly's here and everyone likes her and she's pretty and she's fun and she's tall. We could probably have a athlete for a kid and like, you know, maybe he could think those things. Like, I don't, maybe, but I
think that's mean.
What?
I think that's mean to do to Molly.
Oh, no, I agree.
All that we've talked about, Molly's finally getting her groove and like realizing like, oh wait, I'm good at music. I'm good at modeling. Maybe I shouldn't shit on myself 24 hours a day. I can cut down to like 22 hours a day. And then like, we're going to shove her in with Shep. And the day that he cheats on her, Molly's straight back to square one.
Yeah.
So
no,
like,
that's
Molly,
what I mean. That's why I'm like
stay
not
away.
encouraging that relationship.
Stay
In a perfect world with
away.
Shep being a normal person, sure, great. But
In a
also
perfect
because
world,
there are two characters on the
everyone's
show that are
perfect for
single,
each
so of
other.
course we're like, yeah, great, it would be great. And we also are like dying to see anybody else get together and like have a long relationship that's not Taylor and Shep or Craig and Paige. Like we've got an opening spot. We don't have
need new blood.
a real couple right now. Is anybody like in a couple that are like old original cast members? No, right?
Nope.
Austin, we never see his girlfriend.
Yep. Yeah, we need.
Yeah, Rodrigo and what's his name are like the couple now.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But we don't really, anyway.
It is so annoying that we never see. I was just like watching this like YouTube Bravo, this Bravo YouTuber the other day. And he was saying that like he is acting like he has like this like inside information about that kid Ryan is gonna get fired because like he sucks, he's not bringing it, and they really only brought him on to like check a box. And I was like, he sucks and he might get fired, but like I don't think they brought him on to check in the box. They already have a gay couple on here that is like actually super cool. Tyler is way more entertaining than Rod. I love Rodrigo, but Tyler,
so funny.
and then we never saw him again. Yeah. So we already have that guy and we can't even get him here. Like, where is this guy? He was so good. He would be a great addition to pop into all these things and give his 2 cents on things. Like, they really need to use that guy more.
Do you think he doesn't want to be on?
He was on a couple times and he was killing it.
Yeah.
And like, he seemed like he was having a good time being like, oh, like just be bopping around the kitchen, making jokes and like putting his 2 cents in, talking about Taylor. Like he just, it seemed we're not utilizing him and I don't know why. Anyway.
Can we utilize ourselves into the hotel room, which was honestly, well, I was so wildly uncomfortable watching that scene. It was so
was
awkward.
Sienna. I felt like she was like, I felt like she didn't want to go up to the room. Like she thought something weird was going to happen.
Felt like she didn't. She literally walked out when he was changing.
Yeah.
That is so weird. When she showed up at the hotel and they hugged and there was no kiss, not a peck on the lips. I'm not saying you got to throw some tongue down in the middle of the hotel, your presidential suite foyer, but a kiss?
Yeah.
Would that have killed anyone? It would kill her because this girl's got the ick so bad she needs to be put on life support.
Yeah.
Like she is so sick with the ick. It's unbelievable. I mean, she walks in there and starts talking. She's striking up a conversation with everyone but Shep.
Yeah.
I mean, Craig had a better chance of getting into her pants than Shep did.
She looked at Craig offended when he was like, how many generations has your family been here? And she was like, what?
It is so tense in here right now that you've got Craig asking a question that like no one cares.
Right.
like it's not like
I would never even have thought to have asked her that.
It's like how's the weather usually good here?
Right. And I would have kept it a little lighter.
Yeah.
But I just think
Craig was trying it because he's one with the people. He used to live here.
Yes, exactly.
So he's trying to be like, oh, I know some people that have generations of people. That's so funny. It's like the typical white tourist going to the Bahamas and thinking like, oh, I can speak with the locals. I got local speak.
But don't you think that everyone felt the tension? So they're just trying to make, okay, let's make this as comfortable as we can because Shep's having a meltdown about a t-shirt and they're all coaching him like he's never been around people before.
He's never had a date in his life.
Right. Like, bro, just put on a t-shirt and look cute when she gets here, which I personally found adorable to hear all of these things because all of the guys are coaching him into.
Just be fun, Shep.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
You got this, man.
Lead with the fun.
Right. Yes. Like this was amazing. I thought that was hilarious. I don't know. Mike seems to not think. Did you not think this was funny?
I think there's something seriously happening with Shep.
Agreed.
I think that was the moment when these dudes were starting to be like, dude, our boy's cracked. Like he's losing it. That's when I was like, when did these two become best buddies again? But when they were like, it's our job to just bring the fun and make sure that it's just fun from the start, like everything's fun, right? Like they're now starting to freak out that Shep is losing his mind.
Yeah, that was like, crazy to me.
Yeah, I don't know if it was as funny as it is like these guys see their friend.
No, yes, of course. There's that element to it. But also as a girl who probably has changed her outfit 18 times before she's seen a guy that she likes, watching a grown man have this meltdown, being like, oh, right, you're an idiot too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just found some kind of satisfaction in that.
No. That was true.
But yes, I was, like I said, I started off this conversation by saying I was deeply uncomfortable watching what happened in that hotel room, specifically when they were alone and went up to, I mean, he snapped at the guy who brought the bags in because she said like, oh, those are the ones for the girls. And he was trying to give them to the boys in the room. And he's like, I got it. Hi, how are you? Like, he wasn't mad at the guy. He was just so on edge that he snapped at that guy. Did you see that?
Yeah, totally.
Yes. And then finally all of the other dudes disband and they go up to his room because he needs help to get dressed, which I think he thought would be like a cute bonding moment for them.
Mm-hmm.
She's so turned off by this. They get up to his room. She sees his slopopotamus suitcase and like his Maui gym collection.
He brought all his dumbest outfits.
Yes. And she's so turned off because like Whitney had said, like this chick is used to dating super wealthy, hip with it dudes. And Shep is not that. And, or at least in her experience, I would guess. I think that's probably accurate.
Didn't she just break up with him?
I don't know. And then the entire time he's standing there, and we've all had that moment, right?
Where you're like,
I've got this person is going to make my I'm like, I'd rather put my entire body in boiling water than sit in this room with this person for one more second. Don't touch me, please. And it's at that point, it's not even the other person's fault. It's my fault, right? For showing up here.
No,
to
when
your
you get
point.
the ick, you cannot shake it. We just watched a show that like had a scene that was like, you can get over the ick. No, not that kind. Not that kind.
No.
When the ick is coming for reasons because you have no connection with this person, there is no turning back.
Absolutely. It is a terminal diagnosis.
Yeah.
And when he kept pushing it, where she's like, I'm just going to wait downstairs. And he's like, I've gotten undressed in front of you so many times.
And she's like, I've only met you 3 times.
Right. And she just kept.
You guys are the worst at remembering integral scenes. He said, where are you going? I've changed in front of you multiple times, and literally and figuratively. And she goes, yeah, figuratively more so. Meet me downstairs when you're done.
Right. How is that so different than what I'm saying? She was so grossed out. She had to get out of there.
I am also curious. I didn't understand what she meant. Like, you've
She
changed.
meant when I started watching this show and we met, you were fun, you were Shep, you were cool. It's been 3 weeks. You're dropping love bombs. You got your whole cast and crew on an airplane coming to see me and track me down. You're bombarding me while I'm here.
You think that that's what she's gonna say? Like when they have this.
%. She's gonna be like, bro, this was cool, and now you're a psychopath. I've got a restraining order. All I need to do is not literally, but like
that guy that brought up those bags. That's my bodyguard.
Yeah,
that you shoot at it. That's why he kept trying to go into the other room to like make sure there's no weapons anywhere.
That's what she meant. Was like, you used to be fun and cool, and now you've gone batshit crazy.
Yeah.
And we need to have a conversation about it. And no, I don't want to watch you change, because in a minute I'm out of here. I'm breaking up with you.
Yeah.
Sorry, dude. You've gone weird. You've gone weirdo.
100%. I agree with you 100%. That's what I thought I was conveying, that she's grossed out by him.
Yeah.
On every level. I think she's grossed out by him physically. I think she's grossed out by him emotionally. I think she's grossed out by his clothes. I think she is grossed out by how needy he is. I think she is, get away from me. Now, I'm not saying Shep is a person to be wholeheartedly grossed out by. I'm just saying she has the ick on every level with him.
Yeah. No, she totally does. And now that figuratively thing makes sense, because I was like, what? Okay. Well, I just like blew it off because I was like, I don't get it. But yeah, you were cool, and then you turned into a lunatic.
But do you think, in all seriousness, do you think she ever thought he was cool? Because
well, she visited him in Charleston.
Yeah, but I think what happened was she sees this famous guy on Raya, right?
Right.
And she's like, oh yeah, I like that show, and maybe I could be on that show. And he is kind of cute, and I know he's got some family money. Like, it matched up enough, right, that she would hit the heart or whatever the hell you hit, right?
Oh yeah,
on the app.
She says something about this actually. She put out a statement because Miss Patricia was saying what she. Did you see what she said?
No. What'd she say?
I swipe right on everyone.
Right. And maybe she just saw Whitney's profile before she saw Shep's profile.
Probably.
So yes, technically Whitney was liked
technically,
first.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think she probably was just like the math enough for
Yeah.
her to swipe whatever direction you swipe to say yes. And I think they started talking. And I think it was like, okay, it's fine. He's giving me enough that I would, like when I was dating, I met a guy one time and he invited me to New York to a barbecue that he was throwing in the Hamptons. And I was like, if you fly me out there and get me my own room and I'm not hooking up with you, like having sex with you, and all of those ground rules are there, yeah, I'll show up. And I did. So it's like, you don't have to like something. Like, what?
Did you guys bone?
No, nothing. I mean, kiss, but I was like, yeah, not for me. But like he gave me enough that I was like, yeah, I'll show up for this. I never liked the person. Like, I don't think she ever really liked Shep.
Yeah.
I think he gave her enough for her to be interested. And she's a girl getting used to getting flown places, used to having attention. This guy has a show that's been on the air for 10 years. All of that's interesting enough for her to show up. And she did. That's what I think happened with them.
That makes sense too. They did go on a few trips together.
Right, because if some guy is willing to take me on a trip,
yeah,
I'll go.
Well, fly out to sunny Palm Beach, Florida.
Right, I'll choose a different,
Even if you don't like him or you don't think he's cool or not going to be a good time. Like if you were like, I don't think you're going to be a good time. I don't think this guy's super cool. I don't really like him, but he is going to fly me to a wherever. You would go?
How about this? Like I said,
you would go or no? Or you would be like, I don't think you would probably say no.
No. Let me finish.
Well, she did go on the one trip and you didn't like that guy.
Right. This is my point.
Yeah.
That I'm saying
before the trip?
This is what I'm saying. If someone checks enough, if you're single and you're trying to keep yourself open, right? If someone checks enough boxes, like, okay, did I think he was like the best looking person? Did he make me laugh a lot? No, but like, it was enough. He was nice.
Wasn't he like a billionaire?
Billionaire, yeah.
Yeah. Come on.
Yeah. By the way, I did not know that. Hold on.
You'd go to.
In all fairness, hold on.
But the conversation we're having is she liked him in the beginning and now she doesn't. And you guys are like, I don't even think she liked him in the beginning. I think she's just swiping right and going on trips with dudes because they offered. So like,
I think I've been saying the same thing. I think he checked enough boxes.
To what? To like
go on
him?
A date.
So she liked him. She checked enough boxes for her to be like, I like this guy. He's fun. He's cool. Whatever the words are.
No, I think it's, listen, we're playing a little bit of a semantics game. For me, if I say I like this person, I'm interested in this person, it's different than they check enough boxes. Yeah, I'll go on a date with you. Does that make sense? Am I not making sense?
It does, but we went from vacations to dates. If you don't even have to check any boxes for me, and I might go to dinner with you, but a vacation, I got to like you. I got to at least have met you a couple of times and be like, I like you. She's a good time. I think we'll have fun. I don't know if we're going to be around forever. This is kind of like that vacation where we're going to go and see if if we're compatible, but I got to like you. So all I'm saying is like, she liked him at first. She was fun. Like Shep's a fun dude. He's smart.
Totally.
He's charming. Whatever.
I mean, they clearly slept together a handful of times at least. So I get, like you weren't going to ever sleep with that guy.
No, but I have gone on a vacation with the guy that just asked me to go. Like our first date was a vacation.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. I was like, okay, you check enough boxes.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know, and I whatever.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah. I think that there's probably a middle ground here with Shep and Sienna. I think that she was attracted to him enough and did like him enough to do those things, probably more so than like you liked that. Like,
yes,
because you weren't attracted to him at all. I think that Sienna was originally attracted to him and then got to know him for 5 minutes and was like, "Are you?"
I'll keep this guy on the back burner, see if he pops. Because also guys can grow, like people can grow on you.
Yeah.
There's guys that have asked me out on dates that I was like, I am not attracted to this person. No. And he asked me to go to Disneyland, which is literally like my worst nightmare just because I don't like crowds. I don't like going to big amusement parks. It's not for me. But I went and I was so charmed by this person. He ended up being someone that was very close to me that I still to this day love very dearly. So like, but had none of, and I was just like, okay, I just saw an episode of Oprah that said, say yes to life. And so I literally said
I remember that era.
Yes. And I told him that. I go, the only reason I'm going on this date is because I saw this episode of Oprah, but yes, let's go.
Yeah.
And we ended up having a great time and I ended up really liking him.
Yeah.
So that's why girls, at least this girl, would go out on a date with a guy that you weren't that into because maybe they're going to show you something that you weren't seeing at first. Maybe they're a grower, not a shower, personality wise.
Yeah.
But at any rate, I don't know what sparked the whole thing, but I think that she is so turned off by him. It's a joke.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. I didn't, until you saw that hug where the second the head goes down, it is such a block. And then he was literally being like, don't go, just stay here with me. And she's like, I'll just be down. Like, but it was so bad that like I still am erring way more towards this whole thing couldn't have happened without without one of them knowing that like, okay, just play along, or just like someone was getting paid for something. Someone was either a part of a storyline or a willing participant. They both were. Like I am so much more like leaning into that. I cannot believe that Shep would ever put himself in this humiliating of a position. Just pathetic. Truly, I'm spitting. I'm so fired. Like it was truly a pathetic thing to do to yourself on national television with all of your friends there, all of your coworkers, like a whole, like just like, if you are that far gone, I never seen someone be that far gone. And especially someone like him who seems to have his finger on the pulse of like a lot of like identifying human behaviors and commenting on it. Like he's actually been doing that way more lately than I even noticed before. So unless that's all a product of what has happened to him, and he's been in therapy for the last 6 months because of like this thing that kind of blew up and like was the rock bottom that Shep has never really hit before in the relationship area. That's the only way that any of this could make sense to me, because like this guy is just not this stupid and out of touch.
I think it to come full circle. I think it's exactly what Mike said in the beginning of the episode.
That one's told him no. Yeah. That it is just, it's a bridge too far for me. Like I can't get there. Like I want to. I stated that. I was being very honest with wanting to believe it. If I may quote
myself, where he's blind, he's blind.
Okay, yeah.
You think it's not real? You think her side is fake, his side is fake, like that the whole thing is not real? So like, because you think that there's zero chance.
One of them is in on something, if not both of them.
Right.
Like it could just be her having made a deal with like the show in some fashion to play some kind of a role, and he knows it or not. I don't know. I've never witnessed anything so insanely, all the flags are everywhere. You're drowned in flags. How are you even walking through all these flags without and you show up here with everybody that you care about their opinion, care about looking
on New York when she's going to marry Tom D'Agostino, and literally he's making out with someone at the Regency. They have pictures of it. Bethany has super sleuthed this 7 Ways to Sunday. All of the women are saying, don't marry him. Sonya's like, he was literally just calling me to hook up right before you met.
I have to stop you.
And she married him.
But at least he wanted to marry her too, obviously.
But I'm just saying the red flags were there for Luann.
But that's a whole other flag. Like, yes, some people can just be cheaters. Some people can just be like, but there's like, he did not have to meet Luann at the altar. Like I don't even know if, did they get married? I wasn't watching that season. Okay. So that happens all the time. People stay in relationships where they look the other way and whatever. This girl could not get further from this dude. And it's been that way for weeks. Like that's all we've been talking about all season, is how she's just this elusive thing.
Absolutely. But my point remains the same, because I'm not talking about Tom wanting to marry her. I'm talking about the fact that Luann would not hear.
That's many women.
Anyone, but I'm saying that's what Shep's doing. Shep is ignoring all the signs.
But she doesn't even want to hang out with him, is what I'm saying. It's one thing that two people are still getting married. Like that dude did not need to show up. That she wouldn't show up in 10 fucking million years.
But Shep has talked himself into delusions of grandeur.
But I'm just saying these two situations are totally different, because he's just likes to have his cake and eat it too, but they're still going to be in a relationship. You don't need to get married. Here you are getting married. You guys are both meeting here, getting married. He's just a cheater and you're a look the other way. Many Americans are this way.
But I'm saying
this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Sorry, what I'm saying is, you're saying, how is he not seeing the red flags, that this is like a really bad situation to go into?
I'm going to take back that I said a red flag, because it's not even a red flag. It's The only other thing she could do is literally say, bro, I don't even know you. Get out of my country. Like that's like the next, like there's no other. A red flag is like maybe so.
So because
like,
of that, you think that one or probably both of them are in on it, because there's no way that Shep Rose could be so snowed that he doesn't know what's going on. Like he's in on it, right?
To watch everything that she did. Yes, I don't believe that anyone could not know, and certainly not someone like him who has displayed all the behaviors that he's always displayed. He overthinks everything. He loves to paint a good picture. Like he's not going to be like, I do not believe that Shep Rose has it in him to buy hook, line, and sinker that he should bring his entire family, friends, and significant others and whatever to this hotel in another country to express his undying love for a person who he can barely get on the phone. I'm sorry, I don't believe it.
It's fine. I just like, nobody cares if you believe it or not. But if you don't believe it,
it seems like you've been asking me 7 weeks till Sunday.
I'm just waiting for this to ask us a question, a follow-up question. If you believe that, what you're saying, then you must also believe that, with the exception of Daniel Day-Lewis, because we all started this episode with like, dude, something's wrong with this guy. It is a first grade novel on his sleeve. It's written all over his face. There's clearly something wrong with Shep. So if you believe that it's not real, then there's Daniel Day-Lewis and there's fucking Shep Rose as the two greatest actors to ever grace the I don't know where Daniel Day-Lewis
falls into this.
For him, this is 100% real.
I think it is too. I do.
You like.
I totally
he's
do.
Not good at that. Would be the performance of a lifetime. If somebody was like, Shep, here's the storyline this year. You're going to pace back and forth. You're going to sweat. You're going to be weird. You're going to be like nothing you've ever been before. It's going to be amazing. We might get an Emmy out of this. You might get an Oscar. And it's a word TV. Like, huh? That's no, dude. This dude is
spun out.
Fucked. He's because. Maybe the girl's in on a thing. Like we've joked about that.
Then that's what I what
she
did I
say? One
I
or the
said
other.
it's one or the other.
She said it's either one of them or both
but
of
it's
them.
not,
because she would say, "Don't unless she's a lunatic herself. Like she would say, I don't. You know what? I actually am busy that weekend, or like I don't think I'm ready to meet everyone, or like I don't think like it's like, or like I think we're moving too fast, like." Anybody would say that. Like if she can't even stand to be in a room with him, she would find a way to say, it's actually a bad weekend for me.
What do you think about that?
I never denied that I thought she was real or fake. I've been joking since day one that she's a product placement. Like we're all joking about her not being real.
I think that maybe you misheard something, because I clearly said when I started this, either one or both of these people are in on something.
Right there. Either one or both. There's not or both.
Okay,
I'm just
fine. What I'm saying is that this isn't a real thing. It might be real to one person. It is no way in hell real to two people.
Right.
And I wouldn't be shocked if it wasn't real to either of them.
Okay.
Is that like, I don't know why you get so mad about
this. Because it's obvious. I'm saying like the grass is green and you're like, I don't think it is though. It's so clear to everyone.
So yeah, I really want to keep just believing everything. It's just like they're making it really hard on me and giving me an eye twitch. So just ignore the eye twitches.
I think the good thing that you can sink your teeth into though is what's going on with Shep is real. And that's whether Sienna's there or it's going to be Taylor, that's his sig other, or some other chick, Molly, or some other chick that we don't even know yet.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
I think that that's the interesting part of this season is watching Shep for the first time maybe not win, not get what he wants. And it's, as a woman, you're like, yeah, well, welcome to the party, bro.
Yeah.
And I just think that's the interesting thing to watch, which hopefully we'll get more of as the season concludes. But then hopefully he'll see this and it'll make for something interesting next season. I do think the next season of Southern Charm is going to be really interesting because we're going to have the Craig stuff going on. Oh, I want to just touch on one really quick thing with Craig before we wrap this up. And then hopefully, I like I think we all really like Shep and believe that he can do better and be better. And so I'm looking forward to the evolution of Shep because he is hitting rock bottom as far as I'm concerned. But wait, I wanted to show you this thing. So basically, when Craig was on the Tamara Hall show, this is what he said about his breakup, and it's actually going to lead us into our next hour of content, folks, where we talk about Summer House, because obviously Paige drops a bomb at the end in the coming attractions for the whole Summer House season. Here you go. And I was just, when I heard this, I'm like, wow, now I'm really confused.
The show premiered, and your fans knew that you and Paige, the woman you said you wanted to marry and potentially have children with, we knew you'd broken up. A lot of speculation. And this is your first interview since Paige has accused you of texting other women.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
No, I mean, I'm just like, I mean, all you can do is, I take things with I'm a pretty positive person, but I'm listening.
So. Yeah, I know you are.
And I think when I've discovered that when serious things are happening, I tend to smile.
Yeah, it's a mechanism.
Yeah,
it's to deal with people. Like I make weird jokes when I'm nervous.
Okay,
So, but in seriousness, Paige, how long were you all together?
3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
And you professed your love. You said you wanted to be married. And this bombshell, not only that the relationship was over, but that she has now accused you of corresponding with other women. Is that true?
No.
It's not true?
No, it was disappointing to see the direction that her show went, because, you know, I'm just grateful for the 3 years of a relationship that we had. Like, it was really great. I mean, I'm 100 times better version of myself now than I was, and I think she is too. Shep, my co-star on Southern Charm, was like, that's the most frustrating thing about you, is how loyal you are. So I've never cheated, and I think the best thing that you can have in a relationship is that security, not worrying what your partner's doing. So no, I wasn't. But, you know, you can't control other people. So
why did she think that you were corresponding with someone else, 2 other women?
Well, that wasn't part of our breakup. That was filmed later on. It was kind of I want them to be able to do whatever they want. I think it was a retaliatory scene. She got a lot of backlash for the breakup, which I was disappointed at. You know, like, at the end of the day, she fell out of love, or I wasn't the right person for her. And I think that's okay. Well, it is okay. You know, like, if someone's not right for you, you only live once.
Yeah.
You know, like, go find your person.
Yeah, go find your person.
This guy is fucking nailing every interview he does. He is a brilliant interviewer. I don't know if he's been coached or what, but it is so good. And I have under my rumors thing, remember I said, God, I wrote down 5 different rumors. What I meant to do was go get all of those pieces for them, because I've just been like, I didn't have any fucking time, but I put them in here so that I would remember to do it. And one of them is about Paige catching Craig texting 2 different girls while they're together. And I said, this was in the Summer House season preview, filmed just recently. And at the same time that Austin said that he and Shep had filmed with Craig, while Paige's cheating rumors were swirling and Craig wouldn't defend her. If this happened even a minute after that, like with that knowing, I feel like, listen, I feel like that could have easily been like a Hail Mary, like I'm going to drop this because it's the only thing that I have to counteract, because she's fully dating that guy now. Like, I mean, unless she's staging, she's photographed holding hands with him at a hotel. He's got selfies at a hotel room with his friend, not selfie, but like just photos with his friend. It's the same floor. There's the same, you see the bed frames in the back of her photos, and it's Super Bowl weekend. And then she goes to the game with him, and she's in a hotel hallway holding hands with him. So she's been saying, and she was clever with her words by being like, I don't have a boyfriend. I did not cheat on him. Like, maybe she doesn't have a boyfriend. How many, like, everyone's in a situationship until they're not, you know?
Totally.
But that ex-fiance came out and was like, she has been texting him. I have all, like, but she didn't say Paige, but she said someone, and it was in the middle of it all. Like, I don't know what's true about that, but like, Paige could just be in like heavy like defend mode and like I'm gonna say that he texts these two girls because like I gotta even like
I think where my head's getting a little screwy as to like, wait, what is going on? And I also know that there's your side, my side, and the truth. So I'm sure the truth lies somewhere in between the two of these people. I've never not known. I have a one-way relationship with this person, but on her show, I've never known her to be a liar. Like she seems very clear-headed, and you might not like the stance that she takes, but I don't find her to be someone who is embellishing things or flat out lying about things. I find her to be incredibly direct. So I could imagine a world where maybe she caught Craig texting a girl. It also might not have been in a sexual nature. It could have just been like these girls were trying to hit on him and maybe he wanted to like text something back so he wasn't rude and like this fan didn't have a bad experience or something like that.
Yeah, because I don't think I do not believe that she came up with any level of a bald-faced lie. I think that she may use something that she thought was weird and inappropriate. Honestly really thought that, but like nothing was really going on, but she just thought like, why'd you even reply? Like it could be as simple as that, but she's now decided that like that's her. She's smart to come back with something, because ever since I saw that thing at the end of Summer House, I'm like, I'm going to lay back on like thinking that I know anything about what's gone on between these two, because like right now we've been watching Just Southern Charm. And the producer's job is to make Craig look as fantastic as they can.
Totally.
He's one of their very main, he's probably their mainest character. He's probably tied with Shep this year, but like maybe even more so just because he is in that public relationship. So we've just watched this whole thing and right now everyone is like, a lot more people are Team Craig than like, I think people have switched teams. Summer House is going to do that for Paige. She's their responsibility now. They're going to shine the light on her perspective. I don't know if it's like, I feel like in my gut, best case scenario is that we get to the Summer House reunion and like people are not mad at her anymore. And everyone is just like, well, they're both great. And too bad these two kids couldn't make it happen. That is Craig's best case scenario. The worst case and maybe more likely is that we see them basically tell us an entirely different story. And like, this was so obvious. It wasn't Shep obvious. It wasn't Shep Sienna obvious, but it was like some level of like, bro, you were not for her. You made her feel shitty about being a working career woman. Like those editors are going to go to town just like these people. Yeah. These editors have gotten savage with like going back and inserting those scenes that we're all staring at.
Yeah.
So worst case for Craig is that Paige reigns supreme and returns to her rightful throne by the end, and we're all back on like, Craig, you're a fucking idiot. And Paige is the best bitch in town, and then Craig could have a shitty season next year because he might be acting out. They're gonna do. That's what I'm saying. This whole thing is a big roller coaster, and that's why they pay him the big bucks.
But that's why I'm saying I think Southern Charm, we're in for a great season next season because there's too much going on.
Yeah.
And I just want to tell you,
they're gonna come back early, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your conspiracy might hold water because I just looked on Lindsay's Instagram to see when she had given birth, and it was somewhere around December 8th. And they broke up on Thanksgiving, which is the end of November.
Yeah.
Then the cheating rumors came out, and in that scenes from or when whatever, she's pumping.
So
clearly the kid just was born if she's pumping.
Yeah.
Even if the kid was either just born or it was a month after, either way, it happened when the cheating rumors were happening.
Yeah.
So that is an interesting
timing.
Now that's a timeline.
Yeah. And again, I'm not saying Paige is lying, but I think that she was, I think like how I was saying when Kyle and Dorit were arguing, I was like, I feel like Kyle had to go back and be like, where could I say that Dorit really wronged me? I'm going to go like roll back and be like, yeah, well, that was rude, right?
Yes.
That was kind of rude. I feel like right now Paige is looking back and being like, I dealt with some shit too. Remember that girl that texted?
Yes.
Remember I told you that girl, I found that girl that had DM'd him? I mean, he didn't like say anything, but like, why do you think you could DM him? He must have said, like, I could just see her pulling for something to be like, this was not a perfect thing. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm seeing someone now. I wasn't then, but everyone wants to assume. So like, I got to hit back with something to level out the playing field. And I think
sometimes
that's what she
you just have something in your arsenal that you're like, I don't want to use this, but if push comes to shove, I have to. And I think that's what that was.
Yeah. They pushed her because Craig is doing too well in these interviews. You gotta hit back. Okay, let's get into Summer House then.
Yeah, wait, before we do, can I get another Coors Light?
Yeah.
By the way, this isn't a sponsored post, but it could be Coors if you
Yeah,
play your
really.
cards. If you play your Coors right, okay? I genuinely love your product. This Coors is for cork. We can work on the tax.